Throughout the history of the UFC, we've witnessed a wide range of rivalries fueled by various issues.
Hey, are you still there?
I wish they would let me next door so I could spit in your face.
You ain't gonna fucking do shit, bro.
You're a lioness, piece of shit. You can talk all you want, show your insecurity, show who you really are. I'm gonna break your ass.
Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
These rivalries are born from a mix of personal pride, professional ambition, and sometimes cultural identity. And the ongoing feud between Dricus Du Plessis and Israel Adesanya is a prime example of this flammable combination. What began as professional competitiveness has morphed into a heated rivalry that transcends the octagon.
He is an African because he was born in South Africa. And I never questioned that, but the fact that he was being a dickhead and who the real African is.
I will gladly.
You want to make threads? Come and show me how you drag my coffers around. I would love to see you try.
On August 17th, the new and first ever South African UFC champion and the former two-time middleweight champ will finally settle their beef in a high-stakes fight with a lot more than just a championship on the line. And they're going in there to rip each other's heads off, which is a recipe for an absolute banger.
Dricus Du Plessis, he claims that Israel Adesanya is done. His time is over. And for Israel, that's going to motivate him big time. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of the most nasty versions of Israel Adesanya that we've seen.
Despite there being some fun fights on this card, the main event deserves all our attention. So, let's take an inside look into this highly anticipated grudge match.
I don't really give a fuck where he's from, but I'll show him who he is.
Yeah, whatever that means. You can be the biggest asshole in the world, you can be the nicest guy in the world. I'm going out there to kill you.
Since he came to the UFC in 2020, Dricus Du Plessis was constantly doubted. He's not a specialist in a specific area, and his cardio was certainly a huge factor amongst the doubt. But he managed to find a way every time.
Du Plessis was an undercard fighter who was not in the top 10, who was never in a discussion to be a star, to be a draw, to be a press conference hit, to be somebody sponsors wanted to get behind. Nobody had Du Plessis there except for Du Plessis.
A lot of people just knocked on you is maybe it's the cardio. You couldn't breathe as much. Didn't you get nose surgery, by the way? Why is everybody overlooking you?
Yeah, I think everybody overlooking me hasn't stepped in the cage with me. At the end of the day, if you ask any opponent, they'll tell you.
And during his run, he caught the attention of the middleweight champion, Israel Adesanya.
This time last year, 3 African champions. That has obviously changed.
The first real African champ, trained, born, bred in...
This is what really fueled the rivalry. And all DDP had to do was keep talking and winning. After Israel Adesanya's quick and dominant run at middleweight, he was seemingly on track to become the greatest in his division's history. And eventually, the potential threats to his title began to wear thin, until his worst nightmare became a reality. Alex Pereira came out of the shadows and made Israel eat his words at UFC 281. But with his back against the wall and legacy on the line, he finally had his moment in the rivalry against Pereira and got his redemption in brutal fashion. And it kinda seemed like that was the peak for him. With how bad he wanted that win, it was gonna take something special to reignite that interest. And that was there only with Dricus. A real beef fueled by their African roots. And Dricus only had one more guy to get through. The only problem was that guy was named Robert Whittaker. In the eyes of many, so far he had fluked his way here, and he was finally about to get checked by an elite-level fighter.
I'm obviously looking past Dricus Du Plessis, who is a dead man walking, all right? Let's just get this out of the way.
He's not ready for this level? This level?
I'm gonna manifest him winning this fight in the first round, and when he does, I'm gonna be right there in the cage so he can turn around in September. No bullshit, no, I'm hurt, this and that. Nope, we're gonna fight in Sydney in September.
I'll just make sure that I do not win this fight in the first round. I'm doing the second because it's my choice, and not his.
Once again, he proved most people wrong and finished Whittaker in the second round, finally earning the respect he deserved.
They go out there and do that against Robert Whittaker and make him look that uncomfortable. This guy's now gonna go and fight for a championship, and he's gonna be a dog.
Everything had perfectly lined up for what was gonna be a gigantic title fight with even more heat on it now after their in-cage face-off. But after Du Plessis couldn't make the quick turnaround 9 weeks later, Sean Strickland was called up to tide the champ over until Dricus healed up. It was supposed to be an easy win for Izzy.
Sean, what makes you believe you can shock the world against Israel?
I'm ready to give what it needs to give.
With the way they matched up, he was supposed to walk through the unhinged journeyman.
Sean Strickland, a guy who wasn't even supposed to be in this position, goes over there and fights one of the most dynamic strikers in all of the UFC and beats him at his own game.
With Adesanya taking time off, the obvious next contender was Dricus, and it was up to him and Strickland to start the next chapter at middleweight.
Dricus, can I get an agreement? Do the death! Do the death! Yeah!
The cardio of Dricus still raised some doubts even after his recent nose surgery. But after going 5 rounds with a cardio machine in a close war, there was little left to doubt in his skill set. And now, a new era is upon us.
I am no longer doubting this young man. He has proven time and time again that he's the best, and tonight he got the belt to back it up.
Strickland's performance definitely warranted a rematch, but there's no denying this fight with Adesanya is too big to pass up. When you take a closer look at these two, both check the boxes that make a star. Izzy has already proved to have star power, and Dricus continues to head in that direction. And not to mention, this fight is just extremely easy to sell for obvious reasons.
How the fuck are you gonna question me, Francis, and Kamaru's blackness, our Africanness? Like, who the fuck are you?
There's a record book, and if you go on the record books, I will be the first champion to reside in Africa, which is a fact, and that was what I stated. And then there were so many people who came in, and even them saying, how can you say you are more African? And I never said the words more African, not even once. And send me your postal code, and I'll send you mine, we'll see. No, mine is in South Africa.
With Dricus the champ and Izzy the challenger, they can finally settle it. With as active as he was, nearly a year off was considered a long time away for Adesanya. Now he's back, seemingly refreshed but still ready to kill. Dricus is the more well-rounded fighter, and probably one of the best grapplers Adesanya has faced, and Izzy might make some mistakes off his back and find himself in real trouble. Although, Dricus' striking is a bit sloppy. He's got power, and the threat of the takedowns could create openings to land a powerful overhand, but that's Adesanya's world.
For Israel Adesanya, I think he's the better striker. He's got more experience. He's probably got the better timing. Dricus Du Plessis has a very offbeat rhythm that will cause him problems, but more importantly, what's going to cause the problems is the punching power and the way that Dricus goes forward non-stop. Of course, then when you mix in the takedowns, he is going to make it hard for Israel Adesanya. Izzy's a hard guy to take down. He's got great takedown defense, but the way that Dricus commits to his punches and then blends in the takedowns, that's the secret sauce.
Dricus opens himself up to be countered, and Izzy has the reach, technique, speed, timing, and accuracy to counter all those mistakes, and he can land at all angles to possibly put him away. Both are tough and awkward in their own ways, but Dricus has to mix it up and make it ugly to not let Israel get into a rhythm. And I think Israel just needs to be efficient, utilizing his intelligence and experience, and look for counters in the aggressive blitz attacks from DDP. And I honestly think the time off he took was necessary to refocus himself after that fight against Strickland.
This man is trying to convince himself that he still wants to be here. And in saying that, you know, he has done so much in the sport, and he says it's not about titles anymore. He will never ever get what he had again. You know, there's not enough time. You know, the winning streak, he has done what he was going to do in the sport in terms of legacy. This is him trying to show or convince himself that he still wants to do this, that he still has what it takes, but I'm here just to show him that he's not.
He's creating division. I don't like that, because he didn't have to do that. But now you be careful what you wish for. You go what you want. Trust me, like, you understand, I'm here now. I'm gonna fuck this guy up. I'm gonna torture this guy.
This one has fireworks written all over it. There's so much on the line, and they both want this win so bad. Anytime there's bad blood and a stylistic matchup as good as this, you know it can't disappoint.
What a matchup we are about to see. I am so excited to see what happens here.